for joining me again today on another episode of The Ordinary Fisherman. Today you'll find me out on one of my favorite local lakes looking for panfish. And it's what I traditionally call the Shakedown, as it's the first time I'm able to get out on my home lake in the open water. But this outing has a couple of different levels to it today. First and most importantly, I'm going to use all my panfish gear for the first time and make sure everything's working the way I'd like it to. And secondly, I'm going to acclimate to the lake, look at the water temperatures, and try hitting some spots and start figuring out where the panfish are in their spring patterns. And lastly, I'm going to scout out some spots for 2 upcoming events in the next week. First, in a few days, I'm going to be guiding a father with his children, and we're going to be chasing some panfish and hopefully find a walleye or 2. And secondly, the Minnesota Fishing Challenge will be happening in about a week. This is a tournament that raises money for Minnesota Adult and Teen Challenge, and my son and I are excited to be able to participate in the tournament this year, as they've gone virtual due to COVID-19. They are allowing participants to fish from their home lakes. We will be competing in the panfish division, so I'll need to find a few good spots that are holding crappies, as I'm sure that that's what it will take to place well. So let's jump right in and see what we can find in this early season outing.
Alright, spot number 1 for panfish. Just real quick to show what I like to use as my go-to panfish rig, slip bobber. I'll do another video sometime showing all the details of what I do with this, but in the meantime, it's just your standard slip bobber, so I can adjust depths. Right now we're looking at anywhere between 2 to 5 feet of water for fish. One of my favorite go-to jigs here, these little hair jigs, 32nd to 64th ounce, and just tie it up, and I tip it with a power bait power wiggler. That's what the plastic is on there. I never use live bait for panfish, and this is one of my favorite go-tos. You get in front of them and they can't help themselves. It looks like a fly down there and they eat it up. So I'm using pink this time of year because it's a good color for both bluegills and crappies, and I don't care which one I catch right now. I'm just looking for both, and we'll start there and see what happens. Got my first crappie here. My 3rd spot. Water temps are a little bit warmer than I thought. I've seen them anywhere between 58 and 64. So we are in spawning mode, and this crappie confirms it. He is all of spawning colors. Look at that guy. Black as black can be. He is spawning. So again, I'm just scouting, so I'm only gonna just catch a couple here and confirm that they're here. And if they are, then I know I got a spot to come back to. But that's a good sign. That was my first toss in the reeds there. So I'm just targeting spawning spots now. Crappies in this lake tend to like a certain kind of reed, and I have pretty good luck with them when I find them. And this is a spot I found many years ago, and I know they spawn in. So yeah, I think we're on it. I'm gonna get back close to the reeds here. So normally what I do if I'm going to focus on a spot like this is I anchor up, and especially if it's windy. If it's not windy, then you can kind of ease your way through. But a lot of people like to long rod in these reeds, because they're able to reach out and hit pockets. This bobber rig that I have, I actually can target those spots by just casting into them. And it's the same kind of idea, though. You just kind of slowly work your way through the reeds and hit pockets, and do it quietly. And you're in shallow water. This is 2 to 4 feet of water. You can scare them away. There we go. There's another one. Ooh. Oh, I love it. It just gets my heart going. Feels good. Feels good. Feels good. Nice crappie. Hooked right where you want it, right in the palate. We'll just measure it quick. 10.5. There's another one. There's another one. Ooh, this is a nice one. Okay, they're here. We're on a pattern. They're definitely in this reed bed, which is an island of sorts of its own. Another one of those 10.5, 11 inchers. Good times. Okay, so we got ourselves a crappie spot. Let's see if we can find ourselves a walleye spot. Like it. Hoping it's a walleye. Looking for him. Is it a Fish Lake walleye? Yes, it is. Do we count it? Of course you count it. They get a lot bigger than this in this lake, but at least we got one. We'll say 10. We'll give it 10. It's fun though. Ooh. So if this is a second walleye, then we've got ourselves a spot. Nope. North. But as I like to say, it was still fun. Tiny one, not even worth putting on camera. So we're gonna end the night in a little tucked away cove here. This spot early in the spring tends to hold some panfish, so I'm just gonna see if they're here and end the night with a little bit of fun. Actually, not what I expected. I expected bluegills. We'll take the crappies. Another nice one is Black Glory. Frogs are coming out. Mosquitoes are coming out. We'll call it a night. Just like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, this was a scouting day. Get acclimated to the lake that I haven't been out yet on since ice fishing. And so I'm getting a handle of where things are at. You know, water temperature says a lot. It hasn't come up to its summer warmth yet, so where I'm seeing 65 degrees right here, I'm seeing 58 degrees out in the main bay. And that's a pretty common disparity this time of year. Once you get to know a lake, you kind of get to know how it ebbs and flows, and Fish Lake feels like it has, from my experience, pods of fish that kind of stay in the inlets, pods of fish that kind of stay in the bay, and they kind of act differently, and timing is different. They might be spawning in these inlets here a little bit sooner than they are out in the bay. Things like that. So I am calling it a success, even though I probably only caught 8 or 9 panfish, mostly crappies, and that one walleye. So, you know the walleyes are around. I've got a couple of spots in my back pocket too. I just wanted to try a few new spots today since I'm out scouting. And yeah, gosh, it's such a beautiful night. Great way to end my week. And thanks for joining me again on this short video. Remember, when you get out to take your kid fishing, I'm going to put this rig on its own video at some point, and this is a great way to get kids going. If you know a panfish lake that's nearby where you live, this can really catch some panfish. I've tried it just about everywhere I've traveled and been able to catch panfish everywhere with it, and just really versatile. So take a kid fishing, share with them the resources at your fingertips. Remember, there's always a fish biting somewhere. All you gotta do is find them. And until our next video, get out there and go fishing. Good night, God bless, and tight lines.
Thanks for watching another episode of The Ordinary Fisherman. If you like what you're seeing, please subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to hit the notifications so that you will know when we're out on our next adventure. Now go out there and catch some fish. Tight lines.